What up, this is Ramashkrin covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix anime series Dota Dragon's Blood Book 3! Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. Let's rock this! First up, I would like to say thank you to Netflix for granting me the screeners to this entire new season. It goes without saying that even though I will not be spilling spoilers here, this review is mainly for those of you, my fellow Dota Dragon's Blood fans, who already know what's up. Now, just to reiterate, I am not a gamer. I've never played Dota 2 video game in my entire life. I'm just a fan of this show, and that's it. Meaning, I can't relate to those of you out there who may criticize this show based on the possible fact that it doesn't follow every single detail on the game down to the T. Now, did I like Season 1, aka Book 1? Yes, I did. And did I like the previous Book 2 just the same? Not quite. You see, my favorite character is Marcy, and I'm still annoyed that they brought her to an end. I know. You can't expect the characters to continue on forever. One of these days, they have to get killed off. But hey, what can I say? I like Marcy. I think she's the best. So now that I've watched these entire 8 new episodes of Season 3, what's my verdict? Well, I'm not too crazy about it, but it ain't bad either. The reason being, the show leans in heavily on its sentimental beats, which there's nothing wrong with that generally, but this time it's like they crank up the heartbreak and the tearjerker all the way up to 11. So if you thought Season 2 finale was devastating, well, brace yourself for the many more of something similar that you'll encounter in this one. Season 3 or Book 3 is significantly more philosophical, more existential, and more deeply moving. Don't worry, the actions are still explosive and colossal. Big collisions of multiple force fields and dragon fights. But this time, the writers want to double down on how grief, sadness, and sorrow consume and blind our protagonists to the point of rage and destruction. And I'm not sure if the fans are gonna be okay with receiving this much emotional blow. Showrun and executive produced by Ashley Edward Miller, Dota Dragon's Blood is the sweeping fantasy series that tells the story of Davion, a renowned dragon knight devoted to wiping the scourge from the face of the world. Following encounters with a powerful ancient elderworm, as well as the noble princess Mirana on a secret mission of her own, Davion becomes embroiled in events much larger than he could have ever imagined. In Book 3, the time has come for brave warriors to conquer an indomitable foe, but can the ultimate sacrifice bring lasting peace to all possible worlds? Listen, Netflix usually gives me a long list of things that I'm not allowed to reveal. Usually they would do that. Usually they would tell me ahead of time, hey Rama, please don't spoil this and this and this in your review. This time, however, they didn't. This time, they're not being so specific about it, but I'll do my best to tiptoe around some of the major plot points, okay? So, I hope I don't get in trouble for telling you that Season 3 or Book 3 deals with alternate reality, which, if I'm not mistaken, was kinda touched on in the previous seasons, but not to the extent that this one does. As I implied earlier, because Book 3 emphasizes on grief, it reimagines a scenario where Princess Mirana could have a second chance with some of the characters, if she plays her cards right. But of course, everything is always easier said than planned. And on the other end of that spectrum is what happens when Philomena plays a bigger role in the fate and journey of Mirana, Davion, Bram, Kaden, and the rest of the gang. Terrorblade is wreaking havoc, trying to collect all the dragon souls. And that calamity is what catapults this whole other version that Mirana gets to live through. So I'll stop there. If you want more, just watch Book 3 in its entirety for yourself. But what's fascinating is that, because of this reset button, if you will, all of our favorite characters are now confronted with the realization that, hey, maybe I was prioritizing the wrong thing. Maybe I'm supposed to prioritize this or that instead. And that's when the flood of emotions come rushing in, with every dream of loved ones and every plan to stop things from going bad to worse. It becomes this sort of like constant cosmic fight between what is and what should be. As far as the animation, and especially the music by composer Dino Menein, the qualities on those are still top notch, and I think you're gonna like Davion's next evolution of transformation. Now, the scripts sometimes can drown in their own train of thought, in their own pearls of wisdom. But that is always the intention, isn't it? I mean, yes, the fiery, light-filled actions are bloody and brutal, but it's the themes that are the real stars of this show. I'm talking about salvation, redemption, love, family, helplessness, life and death, and our reliance on gods and goddesses. Those are what is at the front and center of Dota Dragon's Blood. And they could not be more visible than they are in Season 3. So, in conclusion, I don't know whether or not Book 3 is the series finale. I mean, the last episode has a finality vibe to it, but if the story does continue, then that's fine by me. Overall, I think Book 3 is just okay. Again, it's very sentimental, and some of you may not want to watch an anime that's sentimental, so it all comes down to personal preference. But if you do care about these characters the way I care about Marcy, boy, Season 3 will hit you in the jugular. So be prepared and make of that what you will.